for the parents, the overprotective parents. Now, I get it. You want to protect your child from this world. You want to hold them back from being out inside of this tragic world where there's a lot of terrible people out here that can hurt them. I get it. Because, of course, you love that person. You want them to stay in. You want them to be safe. But in the end, by doing this, you are ultimately hurting your child and ultimately holding them back from being successful, maybe. And there are a couple of reasons why. For one, if you hold them back inside of the house, right? You tell them, no, you can't go to that party. No, you can't do this and that. Because I do not trust them. I do not trust you being outside. I do not trust you doing this and that. I do not trust the people outside. Even if you say, it's not that I don't trust you. I don't trust the people outside of here. Like, I'm afraid. For one, it keeps them from being exposed. Now, I get that you might not want them to be exposed. You might be like, bro, why would I want them to be exposed? They're 15. Like, no. If they don't have that exposure at those ages, when they get older, two things might happen. For one, they might go out and try to expose themselves at 18, 19, and do things that they're not supposed to be doing. Like, that's crazy because they've never been exposed. They've never heard of the dangers of doing certain things. But, in that case, you're not even in charge of that. Like, if they got exposed to that at 15, you could have probably held that down. You could have prevented that from happening because you know exactly what your child is doing, for one, because you open up that channel, and that's another thing too. You open up that line to be able to talk to you. So you know exactly what your child is doing, and you can prevent stuff from happening because now they're inside of your household. They have to listen to your rules. So you can't really, you could prevent that from happening. But once they go out into the world and they're 18, 19, 20, they're out there able to do whatever they want. You can't hold them back because now they're grown. Now they just been exposed to crack. I know that's extreme, but they just been exposed to this and that, and now they're going crazy. They're just doing whatever because, I never got to do anything when I was younger. So now I want to go out and experience everything. That's one thing that can happen. The second thing that can happen is that they become shy. They have social disorders, you know? Like, they're not able to speak to people, or they're afraid of people, or they want to be sheltered and stay inside of their home all the time. And then ultimately, that can hinder them from getting jobs. That can hinder them from meeting new friends, from having that companionship. That can hinder them from ultimately living their dream, living their life, because they're so afraid now. Like, they have anxiety, they have this and that because they've never gotten used to being outside. They never gotten used to really speaking to people besides inside of school. So now they're like, I gotta stay inside of my dorm. I gotta stay at home because if I go out there, things can happen. That can happen. Another scenario is that the children, because of the fact that you're not letting them go out, you're not letting them do this and that, they're doing it regardless. And then y'all have problems, y'all clashing, y'all arguing, and then that child ends up going out more and then hating you because you keep on trying to hold them back from that. And then also, if they're going out without you knowing, they can get hurt, like seriously hurt. Somebody could kidnap them, kill them, and you would never know exactly what that child has been doing. You would never know exactly where that child is at because they're afraid to tell you, or they're like, man, I'm not going to tell her. She do too much anyways, you know? So ultimately, it will hurt that child. You can get them hurt worse because here are two different scenarios. You let them go out, they're 15, you let them go out to the mall or something. They have that line of communication with you. You get to know who they're with, where they're going. You get to know who the people are that she knows or he knows. You get to know all of this information. That way you know that that person is where they're at, they're safe. And they're not afraid to tell you where they're going, you know? They're just having fun. Versus you holding them back, telling them, no. And then that person going out anyways, doing what they like. Then you don't know where they're at. You don't know who they're with. You don't know where they're going. You don't know anything. They're just going out. So that's worse. That's worse because now that child can really get hurt. And you wouldn't know what to do about it. Maybe you could prepare yourself if that child goes out because you know now. You have that line of communication too, which I'm going to talk about next. And you're able to truly just talk to them and let them know, this is what I expect, but you can have fun. You can do this and that. And I hope you'll be safe. And you know all of the information. Those are two different scenarios, and each of them are very, very real. Now, if you crack them down and keep them in a house ultimately, and they actually don't go out, then that can lead to them social disorders, those things that hinder them from being able to actually have a connection or talking to other people, you know? And that's not good. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about with overprotective people, usually they like to have that sense of superiority over someone, over your children, you know? Now, I get it. You're the parent. You want to make sure they know you're the parent. You're in control. They have to abide by your rules. But it's a way about going with that because of course, you want to have your sense of, being the parent, like superiority, but you want to also have that line of communication with your child, because if you don't talk to your children, you don't know what they're doing, right? You don't know, you can't protect them. So it's best, and if you don't always be like, you can't talk to me, you can't do this and that, and taking out all of their side, like all of their input, because you have the authority in the house. That makes people not come to you. That makes people want to be away from you. That makes people be secretive. And then you wonder why your child is being secretive. It's because anytime they try to have that input, anytime they want to tell you why it is that they're doing something, you always shut them down and you say, you got to listen to me. I don't care what you say, this, and that. Two different scenarios again. Let's say you're not the superior. You're superior, but you're not the parent that thinks, oh, I'm over you. You're the parent that thinks this is a person too. And I understand that they have feelings and that they have stuff that they want to say. And y'all are talking. Your child has been skipping class, has been doing this and that. And you're troubled. You're like, what? What is happening? At first. And then y'all have that line of communication. So she comes home and you talk to her and asks, babes, why is it that you're skipping class? Why is it that you're doing this and that? Honestly, I'm very disappointed in you. It's all about tone too. That's small talk tone, so that they get, what you're saying, and that it's wrong, but you're not yelling. That way that child can go ahead and say, well, Mom, I've been depressed. People been talking about me and stuff inside of that class, and I really just hate it. I hate that class so much. Then you're able to do something about it. You're able to go to the school. You're able to get her out of that class. You're able to get her into a new class where her friends are at, where things are happening that are good. That way that child is not skipping anymore. She likes to learn, or he likes to learn, or he likes to do this and that, On the other hand, a different scenario, she's skipping and stuff. She comes home and you say, you need to go to your room. You need to do this and that. Shakayla. And that child is like, oh my gosh, you're always trying to yell. I already have all of this on my hand. I'm already depressed. I already have all of this. These people talking about me. And then when I get home, my mom over here yelling and acting crazy. So then I have no place to be happy. I have no place to live in a peaceful environment, you know? I'm just, from here to there, I'm just tragic. And then you have nothing good happen for that child. You're just going to that room and you're forcing them to go in that class that people are talking about them, bullying them, and things can happen to that child. That person could get really depressed and ultimately try to kill themselves. Because you don't have that line of communication, because all you do is yell at them to go do something that they don't want to do, because you don't know why that child is doing that. And when they try to tell you, you try to yell at them and make them go upstairs or make them go this and that. That person can be scarred so bad because of certain things, and things can really happen to that person to make them want to be out of this world. You have to learn to have that line of communication as well, because in the end, everything that you do that makes you superior to that child, that you're just doing this, you're pointing the finger, you're not letting them talk, you're not letting them do this and that, it can end up bad for your child. I get you want to hold them back. I get you want to keep them safe from this world, but those things are not what's going to be good for them. Yelling at your child is not what's going to be good for them. Sending them to the room without talking to them or having that line of communication is not good for them. You can get your child killed. You can get your child to be doing stupid things because of the fact that you don't want to listen. You just want them to do what you want them to do. And then that child doesn't want to listen to you. And they go off and they do crazy things. In the end, I say, please, parents, please, have that line of communication. Be able to speak to your child in a different tone. Don't start yelling immediately. Don't start doing this and that. Make sure you talk to them. Why are you doing this? Let them have that feedback. Let them be able to talk. Make sure that you're not trying to keep them inside the house. I get you have rules. Tell them your rules. Tell them that, oh, I don't want you to be going out right now at 13 because I just don't think that you're ready. But when you turn 15, I think that you'll be able to go out and do this and that once you show me that you're able to do it. Then they're like, okay, I want to make sure I show her that I'm ready for this. I want to make sure I have my mindset right. I want to make sure I do this and that so that when I turn 15, I can go out and have fun with my friends. Or go out and go to football games, go to parties and stuff, and be exposed to certain things. That way later on, I know what to expect, and I know that I don't do certain things. I've learned from that. Make sure you do those things to open up and make sure that loved one is okay, because you never know what your child is going through. Yeah, you may think, oh, you just in school, like you don't know how easy you have it. But children these days have it really bad sometimes. There's really a lot of things that can be happening to that person that you may not know because of the fact that you're always just yelling. You're always just trying to tell them what to do. Or at least, if you can't do that, have those days when you can just talk to them, where they could just open up and tell you exactly how it is that they feel without you being angry, without you going berserk because they told you that they don't like that they have to stay at home and that they feel like you're holding them back. Just talk to them. No yelling, no this and that. Just talk to them. In the end, you'll have an open relationship with your open communication with your child. You'll have them being able to talk to you. You'll have them being able to come to you. Even when they're older, they'll like to come to you with certain problems. That way you know what's going on in their life. And you know that they're safe, that they're okay. Just have that communication and work well with your child. I love you so much. Y'all are beautiful people. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you want to hear more of this, or if you want to see any other videos, I'll be right here. Like I said, I got you. Thank you. Oh, disclaimer. I am not a professional. I am not a psychiatrist or anything. This is just simply from personal experience and what I've seen and what I've observed throughout the years, and how it is that this is like more of a perspective of how it is that the child may feel and things that can happen because of the result of you acting a certain way. Just listen to your child, man. Thank you.